Hi everyone, hope you're well. This is COINKIDZ. Going to dive into Vechain. The ticker's VET versus dollar. Okay, just want to say thank you and big up to the COINKIDZ crew and to each and every one of you in the Patreon showing your support. Thanks a lot. Okay, massive thanks to each and every one of you. I just want to reassure you, we are in a bull market, okay, and these corrections are perfectly not healthy, but they're part of the cycle. And basically, there was just too much greed in the market. We're making you aware that too much greed. Even here, as we're approaching this level of resistance right here for Vechain, people telling me and I'm an idiot and everything like that on the comments, and there was some foul-mouthed language in there as well, saying that, you don't know what you're talking about, Vechain's going to take off here. But like I said to you, it was really overextended. But look how beautiful it is now. Look how nice the EMAs look, okay? They were vertical. They're lovely. You've had your retest of support, you've had your bounce, you've had your ABC correction. Hopefully, now if we retain support, you can see we're above the daily 20, so that's good. You can see we're above it. I'm holding just above it right now, above the 20 EMA. We had that little wick down, almost to the 55. Hopefully, carried out the ABC correction before continuation on that wave 5 LA wave theory right here towards the latter part of the bull run. So it's all good. That's slightly just round about there, okay, so up there somewhere. So yeah, it's all good effectively. These corrections just shake out the weekends, and hopefully none of you were shaken out by that sort of downturn for Vechain. And now if we can find a base, which we've got a bit of a solid base, haven't we? We've come back down and tested. Now if we can stay above for 20, you're looking at continuation, okay, and potentially if you do start to fall under it and you start hitting your head and then you roll, and especially if you lose a 55 on the weekly, you start hitting your head on the 50, that's a bit of a precursor that you enter in a bear market, so to speak, for any project. But right now you can see it's relatively strong. We've held support and we're doing relatively well for Vechain right here. There's a lot of volume, a lot of interest. One thing I want to draw your attention to right now is the RSI, okay? So looking at the RSI right here, so as you know, anything above the purple box here is overbought and anything below is oversold effectively. And you can see at this moment here, this capitulation event, this was a corona dump, okay, in March. You can see that it absolutely rolled over and went into the floor. Do you see that? Now within this you've got a trend lines. You have trend lines as well, and you can see when it went to broke above the channel, that's when it rolled there. Do you see that? So it got slightly overbought and then rolled over and came back down to the bottom of the channel. Do you see this? So what I'm trying to say is, in this light, as you can see effectively, the RSI is adhering to some kind of upper trend channel as well. You've got a level of support and you've got a level of resistance, okay? So we need to keep an eye on this going forward, because I am anticipating a bounce here. Now you can see the last time that Vechain fell below this particular level here was the corona dump just there. Do you see that? So when you got completely oversold, sorry, and corona dump forced Vechain down into the floor, so to speak, that's where you're seeing that V-shaped recovery. And as you can see, it was just under the trend line. Do you see that? And right now you can see that Vechain is just falling just under this level of support on the trend line, because these trend lines do play an important role, okay, in the price action, in the RSIs, in the MACDs. They're very important. So as you can see, we're adhering to it basically, and if we do start to fall under a little bit, this is where you could see something like this for Vechain, where it comes down a little bit more. Like I said to you, get the RSI down, because you can potentially see the growth of wave 5 in this bull run taking you up there to the previous level of overbought. Do you see that? So effectively, if you do start to come down a bit, this is where you could see the reversal right here. So keep an eye on the RSI. If you do start to see it turn like this, okay, because at the moment you see it's sort of still coming down. This is a weekly time frame. If you do start to see something like this, where it sort of turns on itself and starts to go back up and come back into this trend line, this is where you could see that explosion for Vechain, because it's already carried out a large correction. It's already gone down to almost a 55 daily weekly EMA right there, and it's now sitting above the 55, so it's looking really good in my opinion. Not financial advice, but it's looking like it may have bottomed out here, Vechain. Like I said to you in yesterday's video, we're gonna jump into the hourly time frame in a moment, because we might have spotted a nice little reversal pattern. We do need to keep an eye on it, but one of the main things you need to keep an eye on, in my opinion, is the RSI, okay? Obviously you come back down to this level of a previous wave 1 where we took off there. Do you see that? Wave 3, sorry, we took off just there. Do you see that? So this is the potential forming of wave 5 right now. So this particular wave here, this is the wave 4 correction, okay? And right now we're coming back down. We're going to hopefully bottom out here and sort of start to get a V-shaped recovery, just like we did here. Okay, you get that V-shaped recovery after a correction, like here, sharp recovery after a correction. So do anticipate keeping an eye on this RSI right here for a signal of the bottom, effectively. So that's what I'm trying to say. So far, so good. It's looking relatively good and healthy. You can see you're above the daily 20 EMA right there. Do you see that? So that's good. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. And if you get more of a level of consolidation, or even if you do break down, if you're holding the 55 and not falling under it and hitting your head on it, then that's confluence to the fact you're just coming back down, you're creating a level of support, and you're going to get that V-shaped recovery right there for VeChain. I want to make you aware that the market was, you already know anyway, the market was so greedy, wasn't it? So overbought, and everyone thought they can come into it and get rich so quick, you know, and that's always a telltale sign. So remember that going forward, that's a telltale sign that you're going to have that pullback, you're going to have that drawback, because the market's far too greedy. This was a massive correction, okay, from the high, from its all-time high. VeChain is currently down. Well, it actually wicked down a whopping 75%. That's bear market material right there, okay? That usually takes you multi-months in a bear market to achieve that sort of drop. But that's how volatile crypto can be. That's how volatile crypto and VeChain is, okay? Because it's an emerging market. It's so volatile and speculative. So right now, you could equally bounce up here and continue in this bull market for VeChain on this wave 5. So this is what we're anticipating, that the pullback is over for VeChain effectively, okay, because it's come relatively deep, a lot deeper than a lot of other projects, okay, and that's because it was very overextended as well, so it had to come deep to test support, and that's exactly what it's got. So those of you that sort of not necessarily took the advice, but I know a lot of you put cheeky bids in down on this swing high, and you can see where this swing low came to as a previous swing high as well. Do you see that? So what I'm going to do in a moment is zoom in, but what I want to say to you is that so far it's looking relatively healthy as VeChain. I know we've had this correction, and hopefully the weekends have not been shaken out and you're all still strong, okay? Stay strong, because this is what it does. The market psychology, it drives you out, okay, because it puts the fear of God into you, and that's basically what it is. When there's absolute fear, like I said to you in many videos, when you get that absolute fear, they're the optimal opportunities and entry points into a market. Remember that, okay? When there's fear, not when there's greed. Don't buy big green candles, you get red dildos. You basically get shafted. Right now, you're buying a big red candle. There's opportunity afoot there for VeChain. But again, I've not got a crystal ball, but you can just see from previous charts. Just look at the charts. When it goes red, it goes green. It goes red, it goes green. You've gone red. What are you going to do next? Go green? Obviously. So it's there. It's in the charts. You know, you don't need a crystal ball. It's telling you that you've had a pullback. You're getting a massive amount of support right here because of this bottom here. Okay, off this bottom here, you're currently up roughly around 76% in a day. So I'm not saying it's going to completely bounce here and take off to the moon. It's just showing that there's that much support there, that you, potentially you're looking at a nice little recovery here over the next couple of weeks of VeChain, providing the support continues, because you can see you've got it. Okay, providing the support continues, you can stay above the 20 EMA on a weekly time frame here. This is at 20 EMA. Look how nice that is. Come on. Look how nice that is now, and how much more healthier that looks. Okay, and the RSI as well, like we've spoken about. Look how healthier that is right now for continuation. Before, when the RSI was up here, you couldn't look at that and think you're going to continue, and that's why I said to you, potentially looking at a rollover, coming back down, back testing support. You will see a bit of a deeper correction for VeChain, and I made you all fully aware of that. Okay, from the get-go, and the potential ABC correction. But as you can see, the C wave ran a little bit deep, didn't it? This is the thing when you get to overextending and you start to fall, the cascade of selling creates these deeper corrections right there. So it was a big shakeout, effectively. It was a big shakeout, but it's looking relatively healthy for continuation is VeChain, and you're holding support really well at the moment. So what I'm going to do is zoom in on the hourly time frame to see if we can spot any bottom out patterns right now, okay, for VeChain. So yeah, looking at VeChain on the hourly time frame, you can see getting a nice W bottom type pattern here. What I'm going to do is drop a level of resistance right in here, okay, for you. Just there, that's the resistance level created by this double bottom, basically, because you can see what you've done. This is the absolute local bottom at the minute. This is where VeChain's wick down to, okay. You can see on the hour it had a wick down, then a recovery, and come back up. It's at a level of resistance just there. You come down, you've made a higher low, and you start to look like you reversed the trend. But you know, if you continue to hit your head on this resistance just here, then you may potentially see a further retest of this bottom at least, and then obviously if you lose that, you potentially come back down and retest this bottom. Now there is another bottom I'll show you, okay. If you was to lose this, I'm not saying you will, but if you do start to see more of a sell-off of VeChain, then I'm going to give you another target that's below that to put some cheeky bids in, okay. And that is really simple. What I'm going to do is move to the 4 hourly time frame right here, and I'll show you exactly where that is. Where are we? Yeah, so you've basically come down. Let's tidy this up. So when you've come down here, you've landed on this swing high there. Do you see that? And that, what you do is target the swing low of the swing high, and that is a swing low of the swing high just there. So that's your target. If you was to see Vechain break down again and lose this bottom support, which honestly I've not got a crystal ball, but that's a massive correction. That is, it's a massive shakeout. If you was to see it come down and lose that particular level right there, then do put some cheeky bids on that level right there, because that's what happens. It loses swing highs and bounces off swing lows, okay, and that's what happens when you fall through the EMAs. You target the swing highs as support, and right now you can see it bounce off that swing high, and if it loses that swing high, it's going to bounce off the swing low effectively. So yeah, you've got your support targets basically in there right now, but you can see you've got a nice little pattern on the go here, a kind of reversal pattern. And again, what we'll do, we'll zoom in on the hourly time frame right now, and you can see more of what's going on right there. Okay, so what's happened here, when you've come down, you've had these nasty wick downs, okay, and you've basically come up like that, and you've hit a level of resistance just there, created for itself, come back down, and you're effectively making a higher low just there, so, which is good, because it shows that the selling pressure is sort of running out of steam and you're reversing the trend. Do you see that? So right now you come back up and you've hit the resistance again. You can see that if you break the resistance just there, you see that resistance that you've got going on just there. I'm going to drop that in for you. So if you start to see Vechain get above that particular target just there, and then obviously above this red line, which is a 55 EMA on the hourly time frame. Don't forget we're on the hourly time frame just there. If you do start to see Vechain break that and get above this 55 EMA, you're looking at a lovely bit of upside for Vechain just there, and it is from there to there, okay? So this is where you could see a lovely little pump for Vechain. Obviously, it can break and fall back in. This is why you need confirmation, where it needs to confirm and basically sort of break above, stay above, back test the support, and you will see that confirmation of support right there, because that's what it does. It turns resistance into support. This is why you could see Vechain pump up to that particular target right there. So if it was to break from here, obviously trade on confirmation, like I've said to you, you break up, get above that 55, okay? That's really important. If you see Vechain start to close above the 55 on the hourly, then look for some lovely little upside, extra upside to be honest with you, around 19%, because right now you can see from this wick down here, Vechain is currently up a whopping 88%, and if it gets there, you've 136% recovery for Vechain, and that would coincide with a complete V-shaped recovery, wouldn't it? And the flash crash and the shaking out of the weekend is complete effectively. So yeah, just keep an eye on this particular key level of resistance right there. If you do start to see Vechain get above it, you're looking golden for sort of a nice recovery here, continuing upwards, and we've got this sort of wave correction out of the way, and then continue with that wave 5, which we've spoken about earlier in the video right here for Vechain. So it's all good. Keep an eye on that, and obviously if you do start to roll here, then do target a retest of these lows. But I would imagine you would actually come down to where the body of the candle closed just there. Okay, so that actually opened. So that red there, you see that red? That opened there and closed there. Do you see that? And then it opened there and closed there. And this was the low. Do you see that? So yeah, that's basically Vechain in a nutshell. So do anticipate a retest of this low. Ignore the wicks at the minute, okay, because that was very, very drastic. Anticipate a test of this low, where you hopefully, if you do come that low, and you could sort of trade in this range. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you do start to see a level of resistance come back down, sort of go a bit choppy and sideways, then we can sort of look at trading in and out of this particular zone right here. I would imagine though, to be honest with you, if Vechain does start to roll here and come back down, you would see a level of support off this bottom right there. So I'm going to give that into you as well. So do put some cheeky bids in at that level right there for Vechain, which was the original target of the swing high anyway from back in the day. So yeah, that's Vechain. Little update for you. Stay strong, stay healthy, and stay tuned. And once again, big up to the COINKIDZ army for all your support. Yeah, it's very much and graciously appreciated. And hopefully none of you have been shaken out right here, because I prepped you for it. Okay, prepped you for it. So onwards and upwards for Vechain. Take care, everybody. Back soon. Bye bye.